I had recently gotten some paints that I wanted to use, and I wanted to set them in a type of palette, but at the time I didn't have one, and they were more to use at home, not necessarily to travel with. And I just didn't have the extra palette. I also needed to get it done because I was rather busy with some other things. And this is what I did. I try to think outside of the box. I don't always want to run to the store and buy stuff. I think that's unnecessary. And see what you can find to make do with that would work and give you the same results, or results that you're happy with. I went in the attic and plundered around because, having kids and stuff, there's things up there. So I got this. It's a little similar to a lunchbox type of tin. And I saved these. These are lids to drinks, like bottled water. I made my own palette. This is pencil. It's magnet. Incidentally, I sprayed the inside of this with that can of white spray paint that I show in another video of mine where it says make any surface a mixing surface. Because it wasn't white, it was like a silver metal. This was a set that came from China, most of it. It's Winsor Newton. It's just Winsor Newton fine art paint. The one that doesn't say Cotman. It's from China. These are so vibrant. I also have a few Turner artist grade paints mixed in there. If you'll notice, it's row 1, row 2, row 3. Here we go. These are the colors. Row 1, row 2, and row 3. When I get something that comes with those packets that keep moisture out, that keep moisture from building up, I'll save one. I'll just toss it right into one of my paint containers. And then I can use this as a mixing area actually too. And if the lid hangs down a little bit so that the fluid is going to all bunch together, you just stick something under it to make it level. So I'll have my paint set up. I just have row 1, row 2, and row 3. And then I'll have something that's holding my paint chart up. Honestly, I'll show you what I use some of the time. Binder clips, and hook it together like that. There's a couple of them together right up above the top of my paints. What I'll do if I need a larger mixing area, some of you may be familiar with these trays. They're pretty long. The center of this is missing, but I just took my little Dremel tool. I would have used one of my power saws if I had to, and I just cut it in half. Actually, I cut it in thirds. There's another section, but I just like to have things as compact as I can. So I would have this over here, and then I'll have that, something like that, and then that'll be up there like that. And then I'll just be painting over here. I'll be scooched over a little bit, but right now the camera is in front of me and I'm just set up like too small. The reason this has paint all over it is because I've used it obviously for something else. And this is good paint. It's really pretty stuff, and it's good stuff. Like, it's expensive. So I just don't want to part with it. But for now, I'm keeping it. Whatever container you want to put yours in, like I have that one, and I went to a thrift shop because I love being thrifty. I don't like wasting money in a lot of stuff. Like, I bought those alcohol markers because I heard so much hype on them. They are very, very good brand. They are not Copex, but who cares? They're a great brand. And I got a bunch of blenders and a case and everything with them. I don't use them. I love watercolor, but hey, I wanted to try them. And I don't use them. So I don't want to be wasteful. And just because we see something cool or some cool paints, gotta have them, I really wanted to not go that route because it's very easy to get caught up in that. I gotta have that. Oh, I want to try it. Oh my gosh, they say it's great. But when you have quality paint, or when you have paint that's working for you, and if you want to try other stuff, of course that's fine. You're going to do what you're going to do, but I just try and keep it reasonable. All right, enough about that boring stuff. So here's another one that I did buy at a thrift shop for $1.99. It's a 10. It's really pretty. These are two different sizes. I've used a cigar box as well. This was cardboard that I put duct tape over to make it more durable if it got wet. If I do that in the future, and who knows, I might, but I would use plastic. The kind of plastic that you get for maybe like a folder. Just, it's very bendy and simple, but it is plastic. Anyway, if not, I used cardboard, and then I just hot glued them down. The problem with this is if you get a new color, you can't add it in. You can't squeeze them apart. One that would go in between something here. So in that case though, it'll be my last palette with a footnote on it on my palette card. And these are really nice colors. They're beautiful. They're light fast. So you cut your outline slightly smaller so that it goes in and out easy. You want to be able to pick them up. That's two, and this is my third one. And that's white gouache in there. I also carry a very good quality of some gold paint, watercolor gold. Let me put this back in here, but I put it down the side. I'm going to tell you another reason why I actually like these better than these. And I like them better than whole palettes, which are larger, the rectangles, is because I can get my brush in there a lot easier. It's much easier for me to get paint on my brush rather than these little things. Of course, we're used to this method, but you know what? When you don't have to use it and when you've got more room, that's what I really like about it. So before I start painting with these, I spray them with a spray bottle of water. And they're just, it's so nice. It's much nicer. When you have a little bit bigger brush, it's much nicer. I like it that it's round and not square or rectangle. I also like the fact that when I'm not using it and when it's put away, there's no dust getting on it. It's safe in its little house. And it's a good size. I just chuck that in my backpack too if I want to take it with me. But I don't need to because I have enough travel setups. So if I was going to go somewhere for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, I'd probably take it with me. It's a good latch. It doesn't pop open easily. If it did, what would I do? I would just take my handy dandy rubber bands. Do that. Problem solved. I would keep the paints set out until they dried up before putting them in here. So that's that, and I hope maybe this was of some use for some people, because you know, why should you have to constantly spend money to be able to enjoy, you know, your art and painting and setup and containers and this and that? It adds up. This isn't cheap if you're constantly buying stuff all the time. So if you save money on something like that and it works for you, you might have a little bit more money to buy more paint or a nicer brush. Take care.